Bienvenido, gente, a Dos Guiris Sin Guia, first edition of 2018. This is the new year, same old Guiris.
The purpose of this podcast is to talk about some resolutions, so to speak. I don't really like using this word, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just for this year because that's already setting up for stopping at the end of 2018. Mm-hmm. But the way that I like to look at a resolution and some good techniques, I suppose, to learning a language during the rest of this year without experiencing any kind of burnout or fatigue, and ways to stay really positive as you grow with Spanish in this case, or if you're listening to this and interested in any other language for that matter.
Dude, absolutely. A positive mentality and feeling like you're progressing is a huge part of sticking with any resolution or anything. I don't even want to say resolution, but any decision you make to just get better in your life, you know? I feel like the positive mentality is absolutely the most important thing, because if you're feeling bad about yourself when you're doing it, then you're just not going to be able to stick with it. So I think that's hugely important.
Yeah, so number one for me, something that I found really useful was, and we have no sponsors just yet. That would be really badass if we already did. Sponsored by Mal, yes. But not actually. And don't take that to heart, but you can take it to tummy.
All right.
What I want to tell you guys about something I did that helped probably, not more than anything, but 2017 was a successful year. And that was from the standpoint of learning German, French, Portuguese, Italian. I didn't make massive advancement, but never once did I feel like I was stagnant, plateauing, or was I bored in those languages. And it's because I started using italki. And I put money on my account, and I would drop $25 in the account. And that's, for some people, that's a big investment.
So that account that you put money on, I'm not quite sure what that app is. I've never heard of that.
Okay, so I don't even know if it is an app. It's definitely a website. It's called
okay.
like just the letter I.
Okay.
Talki, TALKI.com.
Okay.
So sign up, get an account, and you can find tutors or actual teachers, and they give you anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour, depending on what you sign up for. You can buy bundles and packages that reduces the price. I really believe in this because, first of all, you're not going to be able to have one-on-one contact with a native for anything less than €5 or €6, but you can find it on this website.
I was gonna say the intercambio, like in Spain. In America, I don't think so, but in Spain, there's so many intercambios. If you're helping people speak English too, is that hard to find?
Okay, so I agree with you, but finding it, first of all, isn't always so easy, and then secondly, if you're going to a bigger intercambio where there's a lot of other people, you have to divide the time between everyone. And, so an hour really breaks down to everyone talks 5 minutes in total. Yeah. Whereas this revolves around your abilities, and then they can kind of guide you. But this is the cool thing. So you put the $25 on your account, and you're not just going to let it sit there and waste. At least I would feel wretched if I just pissed away $25. So I just sign up for a class. It's a week away. And here's part number 2 that's awesome about italki. Because you can schedule the class a week or 2 in advance, this ignites a bit of a fire to want to improve before your scheduled lesson. What you would have done otherwise probably doubles or triples when you schedule a class, because you're I want this combo to go good, and I don't want to sound like a moron. Yeah. So I kick it into overdrive about 2 days before, and it usually helps, and I get permission to record it from the person I'm talking to. And over the course of a whole year, you can always look back at how you were progressing from January to March all the way down to December. And dude, that was one way that I think that it was pretty novel for my language learning journey.
Nice.
And I think that it would help to avoid burnout, because it does loop back that social aspect into the language.
I definitely agree with what you were saying about resolutions and about trying to stay positive. And what you said in 2017, that has been a great year, and at no point you really felt like you were stagnating and going backwards. I'm gonna go a little bit of the opposite direction on that. Obviously, it's great if you feel like you're not stagnating and you feel like you're always going forwards, even like slowly sometimes. But there are definitely points for me that I felt like maybe like one day I would wake up and be like, oh, I'm speaking so well, I'm on today, just because, whatever the reason. But the point that I was trying to make, though, is I've had certain days where I feel like I'm progressing so much, but I've woken up days and felt like I couldn't speak at all. Not only did I feel like I was stagnating, I felt like I actively got worse from like one day to the next. And that was a really negative feeling at first. That really caused me a lot of stress because I thought I was progressing. And then when all of a sudden you see yourself in a situation that you like totally had been in before and you killed it last time, and you kind of fumble over it. I just want people to know that is totally a thing that happens. And that, ideally you will try to avoid that if you can, but not to have that ride you down too much. That's what I want to say is that language is an upward progression, not necessarily that every single day will be better than the last. That was my main point that I wanted to say. Sorry, but I'm going to pass it to you now.
Yeah, so I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I'm just going to change the band but not the genre and stick with kind of like italki, but if you are in the situation where you're noticing that you feel a little deflated or that it seems like there were times previous that you were speaking better or doing better in general with the language, and suddenly now you're not on fire like before, I would strongly encourage you to try to double down on social engagements. Like, give yourself more chances to do good. Because a lot of times it's actually just that like you're analyzing yourself too hard, but you only had like 2 times where you could have spoke awesome Spanish and then you fumbled on those. And that's like your whole memory of last week.
Oh yeah,
like, I screwed up at the bank and I had a hard time understanding the lady at the cash register, and I did a bad job. And this could be like the globalized takeaway from that week.
Yeah.
But if you were to go to an intercambio, have a chat on italki, and just, I guess overall what I'm saying is try to bring in more contact so you can give yourself a chance to do well.
Let's bring those ideas together. Absolutely. You have to have a positive mentality and not beat yourself up so much. But at the same time, I really like the way you said that. And it's like a shooter in basketball. Imagine if you missed your first 3-pointer of the game, or you missed 2 3-pointers in a row, and then you just never shoot the ball again. Well, of course you're gonna think you're a shit player if you're 0%. But then if you're like, okay, I had a bad first quarter, I'm gonna keep on doing it, you can get your percentage way higher. Oh, that's an interesting. That's very. I like that a lot. Just give yourself more chances.
Strikeout king of baseball is, right?
Probably the home Barry Bonds or something. I don't know. Like
yeah, dude. I think they say it's Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth, yeah.
Every time someone says it, he's like the home run king. In fact, it turns out that he's also the strikeout king.
I want to go and bring it back from what you were saying with italki and bring it back into just even a teeny bit broader. Because unless italki wants to sponsor us, which I'm totally down for, I don't want to say that's the only way you can do it. It's just knowing that online, every single year that passes, it becomes more accessible and more accessible. So it'll be italki, there'll be Duolingo, there'll be Babbel, and there are tons of other sites. So if you are motivated in 2018, you could do just about anything. Because with the internet and with everything that we have and all the resources and all the tools that we have, really the only thing stopping you is you and your motivation.
That was our episode for today, talking to you guys about resolutions and ways to stay in the language learning game, stay positive, have a good attitude, and just enjoy the overall language learning process. Keeping in mind that it's a long process and fundamentally needs to be enjoyable. But yeah, so that's it for today, and Dos Guiris, checking out. Mike?
Hasta luego, gente.
Yo,
That's a wrap.
that was really good.